how do you see the coach picking up that information and where are they picking that information up from?
Well, I'll be safe to say, and it's a bold thing to say, that I don't think you'll ever pick it up from the certification course. I just don't think we're spending too much time on all the other stuff that's going on in there, which is just chasing numbers at the end of the day. This information is out there. It's seldom going to be in universities, it's seldom going to be in colleges, and it's seldom going to be in certification courses. Where is it? I learned this from other human beings, and I was lucky. I trained as a PE teacher back in 1965 to 1968, and you won't even know these names, but the Ian Wards of this world, and the Dennis Watts of this world, and the Wilf Paces of this world were absolutely brilliant teachers, and it was their language and vocabulary that wove itself deep into the whole structure of physical education, of education, tertiary education, into junior sporting clubs and senior sporting clubs. These guys controlled the language of where it was going, and I was lucky. I was just like a sponge. But
Mm.
I also made sure that when I started teaching, I kept visiting these people. Or I was visiting when I was an athletics coach, I was visiting people at Wolverhampton and Bilston and at Birchfield Harriers and watching them coach. The women, Nelson Neal and Jeff Waugh, it's a different generation, I know. You won't know who they are, but I watched them every day. And then I also was sort of bold enough to get in touch with other coaches in the national coaching structure that used to be in the golden days of British athletics. And I could get in touch with a Malcolm Arnold and a Carl Johnson and a Bruce Longdon and a Frank Dick. And I could then ask them, what can I do next? Where can I go to? And then I'd meet another coach who was one of the local school guys, and we would share each other's ideas. We remember we weren't exchanging videos in them days, or all the things you can do now, but just to be able to sit and say, look, I tried this last week. Now
Mm.
I was playing semi-professional football just with the local pub side as I was going out, and I was meeting lots of soccer coaches as well at the time, and I could see what they were trying to do, and I could learn from them. So look, without going on too long, the information is out there if you're willing to go and try and find it, and it's going to come down to communication with fellow coaches and fellow teachers. It's going to be that where you swallow your pride, you show your humility, and you say, "Can you help me? Can I come and watch?" And go and watch other people work. And while you're watching other people work, you've got to be in the position to be able to say, "Why did you do that?"
Yeah,
What?
because as I'm listening to this, I'm thinking, based on they're the assumptions that need challenging, right? They're the bits where you go and you have those conversations with other people, and this is what I think I'm seeing, and this is what I think I'm doing, and it's those assumptions that you spoke about earlier that feel very much peer to peer.
Yeah, and if you use those ones I listed and I colored them in blue, like you can see them there, then you can go with a little list over the months and the years. You can go with a list and think, well, I might just want to say, how do you manage the space here? How are you going to manage it?
Yeah,
How are you going to set up this part here? How do you know what their maturation?
yeah,
And you'll get good answers and you'll get no answers. But if you use those uh, points that I made earlier of the assumptions as a checklist,
yeah.
I'm not saying they're the only ones, but
No, of
they're the
course.
ones that always seem to come up for me with the people I'm working with. Use those as a checklist and go and start asking the questions. How do
Yes.
you do this and how do you do that? And you'll get good, bad, and indifferent answers, but you'll get some answers. And if the answer is I don't know, you have to go and ask the questions from somewhere else. And if that person's in the right position, same idea as you, they'll say, "Did you ever get the answer to that?" And then you've got a
Yeah.
communication going. And now we've got a group of coaches together. Uh, just working with each other. Don't wait for your national governing body to do it. You'll be dead before they even think about this. But to get a group of like-minded coaches together, just brainstorming together on the phone in a workshop. Go and find 6 coaches local to you. Choose one of my assumptions. Get them all in the room together with a pint of beer and say, let's spend half an hour discussing this. What are we all doing about this?
100% Kelvin. As I'm listening to the presentation, that's exactly what I'm thinking. I'm thinking study groups. I'm thinking about assumptions and challenging those assumptions
Yeah,
in a way
yeah.
that is based around growth, not that you're there to hang people out to dry.
No, no.
There's 6 people with the intention of learning, and that
You,
that's
you know, you know,
that's
Simon,
wonderful. That's
yeah,
wonderful.
the bottom line of that is humility.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
If you're just humble enough to say, I don't know, can anybody help? And then the right people will come up and start talking to you. If
yeah.
they're, yeah, and you'll know which people to spend time with and which one not. And it takes time. I mean, I've met millions of people and I've got this small group, Lachlan, Dean, Suki, Anthony. There's a group that I trust now to my dying day. But it started off with thousands of them, and now it's down to this small group of people that have had the same language, vocabulary, support, humility all the way through my working life, and now I'm learning from them.